It's your boy Wino here today with another video. Top of the morning with a lad. Today's topic shall be the most beautiful heart. So long story short, I was at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota getting my passport renewed. Long story short, after I was doing that, I was getting hungry, so I started looking for something. I chatted with my friend, I video chatted with them. It was amazing to catch up on them. I texted my ex just from Bogota. I texted my ex to see if we could meet up and catch up or whatever. That did not work out. We didn't meet up at all. So at the front of the terminal, the bus terminal, was this park. So as I was getting back to the park, I was looking where I was gonna get my next meal. So at the corner of the park, across the street, there was this pharmacy. At the next thing, at the next from the pharmacy, I saw like the most amazing thing, which was this bakery, and I was like, "What? What? Yo, I live in Medellin. They don't make bread this good in Medellin. Yo, they had this storefront of bread, like long bread, French bread, garlic bread, whole wheat bread, white bread, bread with like powder on top, bread of all forms and variety. I was like, what? I love bread. I like to eat bread. And occasionally, I do buy bread. I was just shocked. And the bakeries in Medellin don't even they're nowhere near to the level of bread that they sell in Bogota. There's nowhere near. Not even halfway, yo. They make pretty basic bread here. Like pretty basic bread here. It is absurd. So I was just amazed. So I walk in there, I get some guidance. I'm like, hey, I want this garlic bread. They sell loaves of the bread. Yo, they don't sell loaves of bread here. You're not getting loaves of bread in a bakery here. Impossible. Imposible. So I was looking at these breads, and I was like, I've always wanted to try garlic bread. I've tried garlic bread, but I liked it before, so I was like, I want to taste this garlic bread from it. Here we go. They gave me the bread, and they were like, do you want it like this or cut? I'm like, what? Cut? Cut it, please. When they put this bread, they start putting this bread in like this machine. I was just amazed. Yo, they put this loaf of garlic bread on the machine, and it just went like, like here you are. So I'm like, what? This is crazy. This is crazy, yo. You're not gonna get bread like this here at Medellin. No way. And cut like that. I was just astonished. So I paid my $2 for my loaf of bread. It was just big, man. I make bread myself. I have made bread myself. And I know that stuff is thick and it's dense. Dude, this bread was fluffy. Yo, it was big. It was this big loaf of bread and it was dense. It was just amazing. So I get that. I get something to drink. I get some water to drink some bread. So I'm here. I'm walking with my backpack. I'm going to the park. As I enter the park, I see this girl. It was a green, I see this girl sitting like in the middle of the green, like 3 backpacks, and she was just focused writing something. She was like, there's this sidewalk, this like walk away, bench. So I walk, and as I'm going around, I'm literally just staring at her. I'm like, and she doesn't even know I'm looking at her. She's just on it writing whatever the heck she was writing. So there was this bench way behind her. I sat at that bench. I got my bread out. I started eating my bread, and I just started watching her from behind. And I started thinking, should I go walk to her? Should I go talk to her? Not sure. Should I? Eventually, I do go, and I'm like, hey, can I accompany you? It's like, are you alone? Like, yeah. Can I accompany you? I'm like, and she's like, sure. So she was pretty hesitant at first, of course. Some stranger just came up and asked her if he could accompany her. We sit down and we start talking. Well, I started the conversation doing the usual thing I asked, which is the zodiac sign, whatever. And I realized that she wanted to talk way more than I wanted to, so I just shut my mouth and I just listened to her because she was just recently had this trip in some jungle, savage jungle or whatever, and she just lived out of the experience and she had to like express that to someone. So I just let her go, man. She just kept talking to me how she was like defending herself over there and how she was getting attacked by witchcraft, whatever, man, by magic. What? I was just listening to her. I was just listening to her. Slowly by slowly, I started making my moves. I started getting closer to her physically. We ended up hugging. We laid down on the grass. We ended up laying down. She keeps talking to me on what this event amazing. I was just astonished. I was just amazed. She just had like this most the best experience ever. Wherever she was, no words, 0 words for me. So we walk, we get closer. You know, I start hugging her, whatever. I gave her a hug, and I told her I liked coffee. And she got me a cup of coffee, black coffee, like it just exactly I like my coffee, black coffee, no sugar added, zero azúcar. I knew it. The moment she gave me that cup, I knew that she did that with an intention, but whatever. We went to a mall, and she was just like, I don't want to go to the mall. I'm like, why? Because the rich kids or whatever. I'm like, what? What's wrong with the rich kids? What's wrong with the burgers class? The rich kids, what's it? We went over there. It was nice. It was a nice mall, actually, a pretty nice mall. We sit down. Charging my phone. We're charging our phones. She got in a fight for some seat. I apologized for both of us. I don't know why she had. Whatever, man. I ended up putting on Netflix. She had Netflix on her phone that she told me she stole from her uncle. We started watching Netflix, and I put Nymphomaniac. Because I had recently watched that show. I recently watched that, and I wanted to watch it like 3 more times because there's so many messages in that series. I liked it a lot. I'm not really someone who watches Netflix a lot, but I like the Nymphomaniac. There's messages about math, Fibonacci frequency and stuff like that. She starts getting super hot and I get super cold. Super cold. Like literally we were like this close. Like I got so cold, I don't know why, but I suddenly got my heart out of nowhere started like accelerating super fast. I thought my heart was gonna come out of my chest. It just got so fast so quickly in a matter of seconds. My heart started beating like crazy. I got super cold. Like I was just shocked in fear. I was frozen. I got so cold that I literally started shivering. I was like, yo, I was literally feeling cold as hell. I was cold as heck. I was so nervous. Because she was obviously giving me the signals. We were openly flirting. We were both flirting openly. It was obvious. And I was making my moves, obviously. But I was like thinking in my mind, should I kiss her? Should I not kiss her? Like, should I or should I not? And just thinking about that got me so damn cold. I was so shocked in fear. I was frozen in fear. I was literally so cold I could not move. I literally cannot move. And I was shivering. And my heart was like, I'm like, dude, am I gonna pass out? I literally felt like I was gonna pass out. It was so intense. I was feeling this so intensely. I was like, dude, I might pass out. Yo. Oh. Should I kiss her? Should I not? She was pretty. She was very pretty, man. I actually really liked her face. She had like the most beautiful face ever. She had like the most beautiful face ever, man. The most beautiful face. But I was so scared just thinking about whether or not I should have kissed her. After a while go by, we stand up, we start walking, right? We were at the entrance of the mall, and I had to go buy my bus ticket, of course, because I needed to go back to Medellin. She was like, hey, you wanna You buy the ticket, I'll wait for you in one of these locals. I'm like, no. And she's like, I don't want to walk. I'm too lazy to walk. I'm like, no. If you're feeling too lazy to walk, to follow me to the terminal, I feel too lazy to come back for you then. Like, all right. And she's like, it's a pleasure meeting you. And she gave me this big old hug, and I was just like super cool. Like, all right. I just went. Later, I realized I did not ask for a number, so I'm buying this ticket. I'm at the terminal buying this ticket, and my heart goes to, I'm like, dude, I did not ask for a number. I don't. If I wanted to meet her again, I do not know how to. I got nothing. Zero. I don't have any info about her. I barely know her Facebook name, and she put her Facebook to private, so good luck finding her on Facebook. So I bought the ticket, and I never thought this was gonna happen to me in real life. But as I bought the ticket, I literally went running backwards to where we said goodbye. I literally just ran. I just ran as fast as I could to that point. The most running cardio I've ever done in a while. Obviously, she was not there, so I'll cross the street and I looked at all the locals, and she was not there, of course. She was not there. Obviously, she was not there, man. I felt horrible. I felt like shit, yo, because I regret not kissing her, at least. I regret not have kissing her. I regret not have kissed her, man. That was horrible. I felt horrible for not kissing her. You know, sex, that's something else, but kissing her, man, she was a beautiful man. I don't know what happened, man. I feel horrible. I felt really bad. I asked people who were there if they've seen her. I'm like, no, I don't even know who you are, man. Alright. Then I remembered something. As we were in the park, she mentioned, she pointed out to some visitor, to some gringo that had been with her, it's an experience. I just happened to have seen him again. So I went to him, I talked to him, hey, do you know this girl, blah, blah, blah. She was like, I don't know who you are, but I think, and I was like, you know her friends, you can ask her for their friends. She's like, oh yeah, give me a number. I got his number. I got her number back, but I'm not in Bogota, so. I feel horrible for not kissing her, man. I feel horrible for not kissed her, man. 100%. And one of the reasons, now that I think back, one of the reasons I feared not kissing her was because I feared, the biggest fear I had was like, I feared like falling in love with her. And I realized that she was like 27, and she did not look 27. You know, I honestly thought she was from my age, 100%. I thought she was my age, but no, she was 27, and she told me her story. Her story, like, damn. Whoa, really dense. She had like squeak marks on her foot, on her hands, because she was like fucking some savage ass jungle. She tried to hide those details. I'm like, don't hide those details. I ended up telling her the story of the most beautiful heart, whatever. But the biggest fear I had was falling in love with her. I know it sounds stupid, falling in love, 27-year-old man, but I was just feeling it, man. She was beautiful. She was really darn beautiful, man. Not body-wise, her face was just, wow, beautiful. I feared that I might have fallen in love with her, and like the last time I was gonna see her. That's honestly what I felt like. I told my flirting mentor, and he told me the most beautiful story, of which I'm gonna read you guys right now, which made me reflect a lot. And the story is called The Most Beautiful Heart. Okay? A young man was proud of his healthy and beautiful heart. One day, standing in the middle of town, he proclaimed that he had the most beautiful heart in the whole valley. A large crowd gathered to have a look at his heart. His heart was smooth and shiny and looked very healthy indeed. The man had the most beautiful heart in the valley, everyone agreed. The proud young man felt delighted and boasted his perfect heart, which everyone admired. Then suddenly, a voice from the crowd said, "Your heart is not as beautiful as mine." The young man searched for the person behind the voice. An older man appeared in front of him. "Show us your heart if you believe you have a more beautiful heart than mine," said the young man. The older man carefully showed his heart. The crowd and the young man looked at the older man's heart, and the heart was beating strongly and healthily, but it was not smooth and shiny as the young man's heart. Instead, it had scars all over it. It had places where some pieces of the heart had been removed, and other parts were put in. The other pieces didn't fit perfectly. With several uneven edges in some places, there were some deep gouges where some pieces were missing. The crowd laughed at the older man's heart. How can he claim that he has the most beautiful heart when he is all scared and uneven, they thought. The young man looked at the old man's heart and laughed. You must be kidding. Compare your heart and mine. My heart looks perfect and smooth, and yours is a mess of scars and tears. Yes, your heart looks perfect, but I would never trade your heart with mine, said the old man. Every scar in my heart represents a person I have given my love to. I tear a piece of my heart and give it to them. Often my loved ones give me gives me back a piece of their heart that fits into the empty place of my heart. Since everyone loves each other differently, their piece of the heart may not fit perfectly in my heart. So you can see some rough edges. These scars and rough edges remind me of the love we shared, he continued. Sometimes I will give a piece of my heart, but the other person may not return a piece of his heart to me. These are the empty gouges, but although these gouges are painful, they remind me of my love for these people too. So, do you now see what true beauty is? Asked the old man. The young man in the crowd stood silently, with tears running down their cheeks. Then the young man walked to the old man, reached into his perfect young and beautiful heart, ripped a piece out of it, and offered it to the man with trembling hands. The older man gratefully received his offering, placed it in his heart, then took a piece from his own heart, and placed it in the young man's heart. The young man looked at his heart. It did not look shiny and smooth like it used to, but it was now more beautiful because he could feel the love from the older man's heart flowing into it. They embraced and walked away side by side. And that's the end of the story. And that story gets me emotional. Because for many years of my life, I have feared giving my love. I have feared giving my love to someone else. And then I was obviously reflected with this girl, even though it was just a one night stand thing. I have feared giving myself to someone else. My mentor sent me this this story, and my gosh, let me tell you, it is beautiful. So, I hoped y'all enjoyed this, reflected. Inner Dog, out.